So if you guys haven't guessed it already, we are gonna be painting the intake manifold black. It's gotta be black, dude, because if you guys can envision what this engine bay is gonna look like I can, this bare aluminum just isn't gonna cut it, bro. The manifold has to be black. I'm kind of thinking about the Hasport mounts need to be black as well. I don't know, we'll see. Anyhow, guys, I went over the whole thing and I cleaned it really good with just some regular old rubbing alcohol. And I started to take a wire brush to it as much as I could just to kind of prep the surface. I'm not really wanting to sand it. I don't think it really needs it because I'm going to be using a pretty decent primer. It's a direct to metal self-etching, so we're not going to have any problems as far as binding to the metal. Other than that, guys, I just got everything that I don't want paint inside of masked off. And if you guys seen the process of doing it, I like to cover everything, and then it makes it really easy whenever you take a little file back and just right on the edge of the metal. I know I've shown that to you guys before, especially whenever we're painting the engine block and the head and stuff. All right, now to paint this, we're gonna be hanging it up outside, and I want to hang it basically from these mounting holes, but obviously you don't want to take your wire, because we're gonna be using some baling wire to hang it. You don't want to take the wire through the hole and wrap around, because you'll end up with a little line right there where no paint gets, right? So what I'm going to do is take my baling wire and I'm gonna twist it around this extension here. Give it a little twist right there so it doesn't come apart. Bam. Then what you end up with is something like that. So now, as you can see, the wire is not capable of pulling through the hole. Nice. Alright guys, so I got the manifold hanging up out here out back, and what I have this stuff all hanging on is one of those like old school, like you know, you hang your clothes on to dry. And whenever we first moved into this house, dude, I looked at this thing, I was like, man, that's ghetto as hell. I'm gonna take that out. But fuck that, dude, this thing works really good for hanging parts up to paint. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it around. I might end up moving it out there to the far side of the yard whenever we finally get the spray booth built. But yeah, I just got the catch can primered. I got it all cleaned up and I sanded it really good with some 320 grit. And yeah, got a coat of primer on it because I'm wanting to paint it black as well, like I had mentioned before. And I still need to put a coat of primer on the intake manifold. We've got it all prepped and ready, and you see I have it hanging up here like I had mentioned. And I've also got my little brackets that hold the radiator in place. So because these, I had sandblasted them a long time ago, and I already got a coat of primer on them as well. I know I probably should have masked off that little rubber piece in there, but honestly, I'm not even worried about it, dude, because I do want to replace these with something cooler, because I know they make some aftermarket ones that just got a, you know, it's got a better look to it than these factory ones. But anyhow, for now, I'm going to go ahead and paint those black. We're going to paint the catch can black, and then we are obviously also going to paint the intake manifold black. So I'm gonna get a coat of primer on this. Right now what I'm using is a 1.8 millimeter tipped Graco. This is a relatively cheap gun. I forget exactly how much it cost, but I believe it was like around 160 bucks. But let's get a coat of primer on this intake manifold so we can get to painting it before we lose daylight. Alright, so the primer has had enough time to dry on all these things. So now what I am going to do is kind of skim over everything with a 320 grit sandpaper. This is just to kind of smoothen the primer out. If it was rough, really the primer came out really smooth on all these pieces. So, and also for like little pieces of dust you can get out right now before you actually paint it. But another thing that I'm gonna do is go ahead and hit the primer off of these letters right here where it says Edelbrock Victor X. I'm gonna take that back down to metal because after we paint it black, I'm gonna sand the paint off basically so that the writing is silver again. And whenever this thing is all painted and black and I'm trying not to damage it when sanding those letters, it's going to be a lot easier just to sand through the paint back down the metal rather than sand through the paint and the primer. So right now while I have it primered, I'm going to take it back down the metal, then paint it black, and once it's good and dry and hardened is when we'll take it back down the metal once again. I have my 1.5 millimeter tip, I think is what's in here. It might be a 1.3, but either way, the smaller the tip gun is for like the thinner paints, like for base coat, clear coat, and the 1.8 like we just used to actually prime it. The larger the tip, it's basically for like thicker paint, like primer. But all right, scuff it up. I'm gonna blow all the dust off, and then I'm actually gonna get the dirt here a little bit wet with my hose. Kind of spray it, dampen it a little bit so that not too much dust is being stirred up whenever I'm painting. And then I'm gonna do 3 coats of black on all this stuff. Alright, so the first coat is a really light coat. Most of the time whenever you do your first coat, it's kind of what I would call an introductory coat. You're introducing the paint to the surface. If you get it really heavy on there and you get it real wet and like you bring the paint to a shine, most of the time you're gonna end up getting a run, bro. So the first coat is where you want to kind of take it easy and you put it on a little thin, bro. Like, see how you can still see the primer? And then you're gonna wait long enough for the paint just to get kind of a little tacky, you know what I'm saying? Preferably don't touch it in a place like I'm doing. Like up here where I have it taped off, you'd want to check it somewhere like that. Whenever it gets a little tacky, which it is right now, that's when you want to go through and do your second coat. Second coat, you can actually cover the entire thing. You don't want to see any primer after you get your second coat on there. Fucking flies, man. So the point is that first coat basically leaves like a tacky coat on there, so which helps the second coat stick to the surface so it doesn't just kind of drag down. I hope that makes sense, dude. I hope that makes sense. But anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and start hitting this stuff with the second coat and the third coat. So, because honestly, it might not look like it in the camera, but we're losing sunlight really freaking fast. Damn, dude. It came out looking freaking fresh, man. It came out looking so damn good. I mean, just look at how it looks with the khaki in the background, bro. Like, there's just something about that whole polish with the black on top of the khaki. It just, man, it really gets me, bro. I swear. Anyhow, guys, I'm super stoked how the intake manifold came out. It's just, it gives you a little taste of what the engine bay on this car is gonna look like, because I mean, I love the car. I think it looks amazing. Obviously it's my style, you know what I'm saying? Obviously I hope so, because I mean, I'm the one that did all the work to it, and you know, I better like it, right? I genuinely think that the money shot in this car is most certainly gonna be the engine bay, man. It's gonna be sexy as fuck. Anyhow, guys, I don't know if you noticed how much more assembly has actually been done on this engine. All that was actually supposed to be included in today's video, but you know, I just been taking my time with it, bro. Every single day this week after work, I've been doing a little bit more, and what I have to do next, for the most part, is timing belt and degree the cams. I recorded every single bit of it, so don't think I didn't record it, but that video was not ready for today, unfortunately. So you guys got to see me paint the intake manifold, which is all good, brother, because that's something that most certainly had to be done. Monday is when I'm setting my goal for having the engine assembly complete. That video will be complete and it will be posted up Monday. So make sure you guys are keeping an eye out for that. It's gonna be at the regular time, 11:45 a.m. So make sure you guys don't miss it, man. Just wish me luck, okay? Wish me luck, because the most nerve-wracking thing about the whole entire assembly is the one thing that I have never done before, and that is degreeing the damn cams. So wish me luck. If you guys have any words of advice, man, make sure to shoot them over to me on Facebook or something. Leave some comments down below, man. I love seeing the comment section on my videos blow up. And please hit the like button. Large portion of you guys that are watching that aren't subscribed as well, so please subscribe if you guys like the content here. Click that stupid damn bell down there so that you know when it is I put up a video. Anyhow, guys, peace out. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday.